Hello, this is GBH Michael coming at you with a Red Alert 3 replay. Today we're going to be on Cabana Republic, not a map that you see particularly often, but an interesting map nonetheless. On the left of the map today we're going to have the Cyan Allies player YuiYui, starting off with the barracks over here, and on the right of the map we have the red Soviet player, Lichter. I know what you're thinking, Lichter, playing Soviets, this is not something that you see every day. Usually a top Allies player wouldn't be off racing versus such a player of high caliber like YuiYui, but he is doing that. He seems to like the faction, so let's see what comes out of him today. Starting off with a crane, not something that is particularly common on this map, but is starting to popularise a little bit more as Soviets because it lets you get the expansions up to start so much faster. This means you sacrifice a little bit of the map control by slow conscripts, etc. And this is probably what what Yui is going to try to abuse. He's going to try to take all the centre garrisons, but with all the bears out, he might struggle a little bit. Maybe he's going to... Yeah, he's just going up for the mass expansions like I was talking about before. He's probably going to take the one up here and possibly the ones at the top before going round to the bottom. Lichter trying to take a couple of the garrisons in the centre, but he might struggle with the amount of peacekeepers out on the map. Taking down a couple of peacekeepers with the bears. Nice rolls. Taking down the peacekeepers because he didn't put the shields on in time, but keeping the engineer alive is the most important part there. Oh, unlucky for Yui, his harvester is actually bugged out. It's not mining. He's going to have to sort that out, thank God. He is actually paying attention. But yeah, he's sending a prospector up to expand at the north side. Conscripts trying to take down the garrisons with the Molotov cocktails, but both players being on top of it. They're not probably going to lose too many units right here, right now. Both players setting up to go for their high ground expansions at the north, but just playing pretty standard right now. Both players going for the airfield. Yui has not currently scouted this, so he does not know to go for Apollos. He might go for one blind Apollo just to get a faster scout off, but I don't think he'll go for a lot without knowing that the airfield is up, because it's relatively uncommon so early on at this game from a Soviet player. Lichter is moving his MCB, probably going for his 4th refinery right now. Trying to get all of his expansions up as fast as possible. That's kind of the use of this crane early on, just to go around and get as much as possible on this map. But going around with the Vindicator, sniping a couple of these conscripts, just retaking the map control as much as possible with these peacekeepers. Yeah, there it is, Dog Scout going in. He's going to scout this airfield and he should know exactly what to do straight away. Shouldn't be continuing that much Vindicator production for a while. As soon as this refinery is finished, I wouldn't be too surprised if he popped it up in this northern refinery location. Or maybe he's saving it for later, because yeah, it does make sense actually, to be honest. But either way, deciding to go for the oil derrick instead, because he went for the crane, it's a little bit more difficult to get that engineer up to this oil derrick in time, because you're so much slower with the dogs and bears. So all you've got is conscripts, and it's so difficult to go all the way around here. He's got 4 MiGs up right now. That surely will get him the air control that he really needs. And with only 2 Apollos, he might struggle a little bit. He might struggle a little bit over here, but if he might goes quite a bit, he might be able to take down a couple of these MiGs. But no, one of the Apollos does go down, and the other one has to get away, but he does stay alive. Not the worst that could have came out from Yuri right there. He does manage to keep one Apollo alive, so it's very handy. He is up to 4 refineries right now though, so he's got an economic lead against Lichter. Lichter, this is a bit unusual. Why is he moving his MCV? He's not trying to go for these top northernmost refineries. Instead, he's going for both the oil derricks. Not really, a little bit unorthodox, but it's Lichter. I'm sure he'll make it work. Once again, he's coming round with more of these conscripts, trying to retake the map control a little bit, garrison all the structures, but with the air control that he has with all these MiGs, decides, you know what, I've got the air control against an Allies player, which is a little bit rare. Let's get some twin blades out. Let's retake this oil derrick and then go for some light harassment. Another prospector expansion going up. This is not something that you see particularly often on a big map like this. Just taking as many refineries as possible. It's difficult, but it is possible. It is doable. It's more common with the Soviet player, but With the MCB packed up here, he's probably going to place a turret round here and take down the refinery. I can't see Lichter, I can't see Yui defending this very easily. 2 refineries coming down, but a turret is placed down in time. He's expecting that and he was ready. But this prospector trying to get the expansion up here, it will be taken out by those twin blades. Shouldn't be too difficult. And he's forced away. Still, only on 3 refineries and 2 oil derricks versus a 4 refinery setup from Lichter, from Yui. He does have a decent amount of production structures down here, so he could amass a pretty sizable force in quite a short time. But let's see what he ends up doing. Is this double airfield? This is 2 airfields out of Lichter. Very unorthodox player. Decides to go for the very, very mobile, very, very fragile army. This could go either way. If Yui catches these aircraft out of position, they can go down in no time. They are very, very fragile units, but also have the potential to do very, very devastating damage. At the north, he's picked off the dog, so he can go ahead and secure these two naval refineries. Yui trying to go for the IFV switch, because they are very good against these MiGs and twin blade composition. I think we're going to have to see a hammer tank switch, which is exactly what we're seeing out of Lichter right now. Currently there is not that much to contend with these IFV force. Nice Desolator coming down here, probably taking down a little bit of infantry. Didn't see quite how much, but if he placed down a cash bounty, chances are there was a little bit of infantry caught off position down there as well. Nice defensive setup on this high ground refinery from Yui up here. Got off a few javelins in the structure and a turret placed down. Perfect defense against this twin blade and MiG based composition from Lichter. But he is up to this 5 refinery setup right now, so he's going to be in a pretty good position economically. Yui did retake 1 of his oil derricks over here, but he's heading in with a few tanks right now. It does manage to take down one Guardian tank. 3 hammer tanks remaining, going down to try to do a little bit of damage against Yui's army right now. Might be able to pick off a harvester if he's lucky, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to do damage right here with the javelin in the structure, which surely he's going to place very soon. He's going to be forced away, but he's forced off the harvester for a short amount of time. But it was very nice, very nice defended from Yui right there. And forcing away all of these twin blades and MiGs. This army composition from Lichter it's not really paying off very well. It's given them the map control and it's given them the vision that he needs, but it's not really paying off damage wise. He is currently building a 2nd super reactor. Usually you don't see people placing a 2nd super reactor if they're low power this late in the game. Usually you just see a lot of just small power plants because it's the easier option. But he does actually send in 1 twin blade as a sacrifice to take down the harvester. A little bit of a nice move from Lichter right there. A twin blade for a harvester. Well, it's an allied harvester, so they're very cheap, only costing 1,000. But it's definitely pays off. The prospector harassment coming off at the top of the map from Yui. This is something that you don't see. This is a very strange game, I've got to say. A lot of things that you don't see very often. He's switching up to the hammer tank and flak trooper composition right now, which is a very nice composition to have. He's realising that his air army is not really working to what as he really expected and hoped it to work out. So he's going to try to pick off this turret with the 5 twin blades, but if he doesn't split these up, they might take a lot of splash damage. Let's see how this goes out. The splash damage is actually really devastating. This is doing a lot of damage to the twin blades, but it doesn't actually pick it off. It doesn't then pick any of them off. It is a 2nd turret placed down. Will this do a lot of damage? All of the twin blades are a little bit more spread out this time, so they shouldn't see too many losses. 1 MiG does go down, but overall, quite nice from Yui, from Lichter. However, all of these IFVs from Yui get out of position, and all of them get picked off from this pretty sizable hammer tank and flak trooper army over here. But Yui, there it is, the first Athena cannon. Tier 3 is out, and actually Tier 3 is almost out of Lichter as well. This is going to be, I'm expecting a lot of artillery this game. Surprisingly, Lichter hasn't gone and taken this southern refinery yet. Instead, he's trying to stick with these northernmost refineries, which usually they are quite easy to skewer versus Allies players, but in this case, YuiYui is doing a really good job defending them. He's going to pick off most of these twin blades if Lichter isn't careful. Oh, the Apollo does come in to finish them off. Very nice pick off from YuiYui right there. Desolator harassment going on. Light harassment over there. But overall, this defense from YuiYui has been very good this game. Overall, very solid play. But as soon as the Allies player does get up to this tier 3 army composition, it can get very difficult to hold off. Forcing off the line is always a good move. Naval yard going up. He's really trying to make this northern refinery naval play work with the Soviets, and he might just be able to pick up to make it work. Overall, these two refineries have paid off quite a bit, but he is spending quite a lot of money and has lost quite a few twin blades and MiGs in the process. The close-up is out, so he will be able to deal with that turret, but the Athena cannon harassment has started. He's starting to push forward. V4s are the answer. V4s is what he's taken out. Will they be able to take down these Athenas in time? One rocket has been fired off and does actually pick off one of these Athena cannons. Not noticing, and very nice pick off from Lichter right there. And now it's going to be a battle of positioning right now. As soon as it goes to this artillery state, you don't want to be placed out of position. You want to make sure that if you engage, you have the favourable positioning. Because if you go out of position against its army like this, you could lose your entire army in seconds. It's very, very difficult and very strategic play right now coming out of both these players. MiGs are still alive, so they will be able to just keep the map control a little bit more. Both players just trying to get the army up. And Commando is out from Lichter. He's showing that he's not just a one-trick pony, he can play Soviets as well. Not only Allies in his repertoire, but this time there is a Riptide coming out. Maybe there's even something inside it, but either way the Harvester is not walled up, so he probably will be able to pick off this Harvester. Nice naval harassment going on from YuiYui right there, but both players are taking quite a bit of damage. 2 V4s. One V4 does manage to go down, but one survives by the skin of his teeth. However, this naval play is not seeming to work out. A few javelins do manage to take down this refinery on the side of the map, but the V4 count is falling a little bit. But it is actually, they are being rebuilt instantly, so it's not looking very good for YuiYui right now. He's devoting too much of his money and time and micro at the top of the map that he might actually end up losing this southernmost engagement. He hasn't, but aircraft carrier does come out, and the Blackout missile does disable all of the V4 rocket launchers. If he can take all of these out, that's the entirety of Lichter's force pretty much gone. And all but the Desolator does come down, and it will force away all of these Athena cannons. Flak troopers do roll in, but they're going to be forced back from his own Desolator. Both of the sea refineries will be taken down very shortly, but the Commando does take over. My famous trick over here. Commando taking over the aircraft carrier. Usually this is best to use the Blackout missile, but since it's just being used, won't be seeing it. But this army from Lichter is very, very devastating right now, and I can't see YuiYui actually taking this down, but 2 Javelin soldiers at the back, taking down the super reactor. He does have a second though, so this won't be as devastating as possible, but if it does actually manage to explode, this could take down the barracks as well, and it does! But the army is rolling in to YuiYui's main base, and he just has nothing to deal with it. Cryogeddon does get placed down, but there's nothing to kill it. He's going to have to sell off a power plant if he's going to kill these. He's losing the refineries, but he just has no army left, YuiYui. I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to deal with this. He is actually doing a very good job of dealing with this army, but he doesn't have any peacekeepers or anything to deal with the flak troopers. So this could be a little bit of a difficult situation for him. The second aircraft carrier is out, so he does get the Black Hawk missile off on these V4s, rocket launchers once again, but all of the production is gone, except for this airfield of Yui. There's nothing else that he can build an army with right now. So unless he, and aircraft versus flak troopers like this is not going to do very much. He's going to need to make this one aircraft carrier do everything. It's going to be so difficult with the V4 rocket launcher shooting at it. It does get taken down. There's only a few Riptides and one IFV left from Yui. Will he be able to take down his army, or will it be game over right now? Lichter's economy has been torn to shreds. There's only 2 refineries left, and there's nothing else. Versus the 3 refineries and an oil derrick from Yui. Will he actually be able to take this? If he kills this army of Lichter, he might actually have a chance of winning this game, but he's not focusing all of the flak troopers down. Instead, he's shooting the V4, so he's not actually going to be taking them down in time. And if this MCV goes down before he places down this production structure at the north, he does manage to get it down, so he might be able to rebuild his MCV if it does go down. But either way, his army is in tatters. There is nothing left for him to fight with right now. He is going to have to make every cent count. Okay, does he have enough money to rebuild? Both of them have a fair bit of money banked up. Lichter he's decided to go for the naval yard at the bottom. He does have a lot of money in his bank, while Yui at the same time he has a lot of money himself. But he's out of power, and rebuilding at a low power state, it takes so much longer. If he micros correctly with a few vindicators, he might be able to take down all of these flak troopers. But no, there's nothing that he can do to deal with this Soviet aircraft carrier coming out. That Natasha taken down and pallet sniping and capturing this aircraft carrier was an excellent move out of Lichter right there. And he's slowly just being whittled down and torn to shreds. Unless he can get an MCV out and do something right now, it's going to be game over. He needs to keep this hydrofoil with this aircraft carrier, keep it weapon jammed, but he's not paying enough attention. Will he actually? He should be able to take down these refineries, no problem, but he does actually manage to take the crush off on that peacekeeper. This is a very dire situation for Yui right now. Will he be able to get back? But he's transitioning into the twin frog, the dreaded composition of the Soviets. And without the turret, he sold off the turret, so this refinery is now under threat of twin blade harassment. This is going to be very difficult for Yui, and I feel like it's game over right now. If he can take off this harvester, then all he's got is going to be this oil derrick getting him money in, and he, with only 1 production structure, oh my god, the Desolator is down. All of the defense from this structure is now being taken down by 2 javelins. This is going to be very difficult, and I feel the worst for Yui right now. Very, very well played from Lichter as Soviets. It's not what I was expecting when I was coming into this game, I've got to say. Very unorthodox play. And capturing the aircraft carrier as well with Natasha. Very unusual play coming out, but there it is. GG. Lichter showing once again that he can play Soviet. He can play whichever faction he wants. He's not just an Allies player. He can win with whatever he wants. Very nice play from both players over there, but the mass expansion and the sheer economy from Lichter was just too much for Yui to deal with. He tried to take down the economy, but it was just a little bit too late. Unfortunately, Lichter just managed to amass such a force that it was just unstoppable from Yui. He'd done a great job of taking down as much as possible of his army, but in the end of the day, it just wasn't enough. It didn't quite have enough to deal with the army of Lichter. So yeah, Lichter showing some very nice play from the Soviets. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you later.